Hello everyone, it's Nick Falgett. I'm recording a Scars Block 8-4, and I have easily my most difficult first pick that I have encountered so far, because there's a Phyrexian Metamorph and there's a Viral Drake. They're both excellent cards. The Viral Drake Repeatable Proliferate is incredibly powerful, especially on an infect body. You're going to be shrinking blockers rapidly, poisoning people rapidly. The Metamorph is slightly more flexible. It's not necessarily blue. And if I pass the Viral Drake, it's going to be sort of hard to be blue. I haven't played with Viral Drake yet, which makes me want to play with it. But I think I will just take the Metamorph. That is a close call, though. There's also a Glissus Scorn or a Necropouncer in that pack. Immediately, I wish I had taken the Vital Drake, because this guy is bonkers. And it sort of boils down to, do I take the Reaper of Sheoldred or this Spire Monitor? And I think I'm going to take the Monitor. I know I just passed the Vital Drake, but I don't think this Throat Seeker is putting anyone in blue. And if I take the Reaper, I'm still passing a Verdict and a Praetor's Grasp. And I have a blue card, quote unquote. In my first draft, I played with Spire Monitor and Metamorph, and that was a good way to get some advantage. So yeah, Spire Monitor is. Hopefully the guy next to me will go black now. Here is a pack. I thought it was going to be more interesting, and then I saw this Blinding Soul Eater was still here. But there's an Impaler Shrike or a Vapor Snag in blue. There's Apostle's Blessing, Tanadon. Not 100% sure how good this guy is. You know, if you're mostly monocolored, it's obviously pretty sweet. This guy's probably fine. I like the Cobra too, but Soul Eater is for me. Oof. I think this card is insane, though obviously better as a finisher in an actual infect deck. I don't actually know how good this guy is going to be in a deck that's not playing any forests, although in sealed you're usually willing to find out. But this is draft. I think I'm going to take him. I haven't actually drafted one yet. I don't think I want either of these actual green cards. This guy doesn't excite me. The Blessing does excite me, but I think Tanadon is better. Hopefully one of these Talismans will come back around. There's another Verdict here, and there's a Vapor Snag as a trick, but I like the Tanadon. Arm with Ether is cute. I think Artillerize is the pick. I've been getting into a lot of slap fights about this card. People think it's on par with Volt Charge, or that it's way better than it is. It's really a pretty bad removal spell. Like, you should think of this as a really, really strong Lava Axe that will occasionally allow you to, I mean, using this to take out a creature most of the time is going to be like using 2 cards to remove something. But in this case, I mean, I don't think Vapor Snag's better than Artillerize or the growth of this Soul Eater. So, obviously we're in several different kind of colors right now. Obviously there's a Mycosynth Fiend here, which annoys me, considering I passed Vital Drake, Reaper, Spinebiter, although those are not synergistic or anything. So with no ways to grant Infect, I don't think I want the Fiend. It is between Vapor Snag and Shrine of Piercing Vision here. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Bounce spell, I think. Haven't played with the Shrine yet, but I don't want to pass all kinds of Vapor Snags. And I really think this card is pretty sweet. So I want it. For in blue, I think Trespassing Soul Eater is totally great. Psychic Barrier is fine, I think. But an unblockable dude is an unblockable dude. And there's another one. And a mostly blank pack, although Maul Splicer is slightly tempting. But I think I'd rather be red or white as a second color rather than green, especially considering we can play this anyway. So pick another Soul Eater. This guy's great. Having a Blinding Soul Eater and a Metamorph is pleasing to me. Haven't actually gotten to cast one of these yet, so hoping to blow someone out with it. It's just so cheap. It's such a cheap utility card. You know, Disperse was a card I always liked to run in both previous draft formats just because it was versatile. And the majority of the time you actually just want to bounce a creature. So that's a pretty late Sensor Splicer. So we'll go ahead and grab it for our Blinding Soul Eater. I think it's slightly preferable to this Hulk since this guy is very, very powerful. Here there's not really that much. I think I will grab the Toxic Nim away from somebody. These two cards are bad. This card's terrible. This guy's probably fine, but probably more worried about Toxic Nim and a blue-white shell. Yeah. If we get a Mirror Welder, he's going to have all kinds of abilities to eat, which is pretty sweet, and we can make another one. After my first draft, I was able to sell the second pick Metamorph that I got for 5 tickets, which is part of the consideration of taking the Metamorph over the Vile Drake. But I think it's probably, I think I saw that people were buying foil Metamorphs for 5 tickets yesterday. So I was the beneficiary of some early confusion about value. This is a tougher pick than it looks like because this card is great and it's probably in our colors, but I'm interested in seeing how good this card is. But I think I'm going to go with the Blessing anyway, even though I may not get... Oh, of course, there's another one. I don't think I want to run 2. I'm just going to grab this Deathhood Cobra. Well, that's a bummer. I mean, I knew there were a couple, but I think people are underestimating this card. Maybe I don't even care about Deathhood Cobra. He blocks my flyers, though. And I don't actually know if I'm going to run... I mean, I just feel like having 1 Apostle's Blessing is perfect. So, after pack 1, we are not really committed to any one color. We're more committed to blue, because these guys aren't as good if you're not blue. But we could pretty easily switch out of any of the colors. Although losing these 4 cards, it would be a pretty big blow. Galvanoth, no thanks. Best card in this pack is Spread the Sickness, but Fine Offering is pretty close behind. It's in a color that we want to be playing anyway, and so I'll take it. I might splash this Artillerize if it comes to that. Certainly it'll give you some reach. See, that's what I mean. You can't think of this as a removal spell because it's just the workarounds. Yeah, there are artifacts and creatures you don't mind sacking. There are artifacts and creatures you want to sack in this block, so sometimes it's going to be good. But the vast majority of the time, you know, you're going to have to sacrifice a board relevant thing to take something out, because if you need 5 damage to take something out, I mean, like, imagine if you were facing on a spin engine. What are you going to sack? You know, you're at 3. Like, it's just not, like, this is not the removal spell you want to rip when you're taking out, you know, a single creature that's you know, punching you, if you will. Well, I mean, it's, you know, it's not awful. Okay, into the core. Go for the throat. Spread the sickness. Jesus Christ. Okay, so looks like what's happening is the guy to our left took that Viral Drake, and then all those Vapor Snags, he just thought blue was open regardless. I mean, there's not even anything to art, like, it's going to be one of these 3 cards just because, A, they're very powerful, all 3 of them in their own right, and B, there's not anything else in blue or white that is interesting, except for this Vivisection, but it's not second pickable over any of these cards. I think I just want to go for the throat. Um, Lord Almighty. I mean, I could take Into the Core because I have Artillerize, but I think I still want to be blue-white. I just want the packs to have less of those cards and more of Mitotic Manipulation, obviously. This pack is pretty close between Plague Mirror and Sky Hunter, I think. Plague Mirror kind of makes me feel curious, because I'm pretty sure that Viral Drake had to have got snapped up. We are going to have some color issues, but I think we've moved into white sufficiently. I mean, we're going to splash one of these two. Throat definitely over Artillerize. Our Tanadon is colorless, although it keeps making me think we're in more colors than we are. I'm going to go ahead and grab a Sky Hunter, just because it's, I think, the best card for the deck that we are building in a vacuum. Although, running enough planes to get them out on turn 2 consistently could be an issue. Like, Plague Mirror just is not that interesting for us right now. We're not, and there's another one too. But I think we'll take a second Sky Hunter. What a strange sequence of packs. There's an Oculus here too. Rager, Spin Engine, all good. But we'll take the Sky Hunter, Master's Call, Gust Skimmer, Brass Squire. No equipment. Excuse me. I think Master's Call is good here. Let's grab it. Ichor Wellspring is not particularly useful at the moment. Excuse me. Though I'm amused by the idea of putting out a Metamorph as a Wellspring. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, between Master's Call or Gust Skimmer here, I guess Gust Skimmer is pretty good too. But we have 2 Sky Hunters and 2 Soul Eaters. I think we just want the Master's Call. Yeah, Treasure Mage. That's real. There's a 3rd Sky Hunter here, but Treasure Mage actually finds her Tanadon, which is cool. And is just a good blue guy beside. That's a pretty good sign that he's still here. At least we're not signaling blue in that direction either. Quicksilver Geyser versus Gust Skimmer versus Choking Fumes. I think Geyser go the bouncier route here. We're getting a little creature light, I suppose. We're at 11 with Master's Call, though. I'm going to go ahead and hide this Artillerize for now. I can be convinced to undo that. I think we'll get another Gust Skimmer. And I really do like Quicksilver Geyser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not very many artifacts. This is not going to be able to attack very often. I guess I could take a Choking Fumes here. This guy dies to Choking Fumes, certainly. I could be convinced to side in Choking Fumes in a certain number of situations. And yeah, that's about all there is to that. Banishment Decree versus Neurot Commando. We already have Geyser and Snag, so we'll just take a creature that we're probably not going to play. I guess we can take a Rhino. We're not very artifact heavy, but sometimes you just need to run a 6-mana 4/4. I mean, I'm really glad we didn't take that Hulk now. Although we would have Vigilance some fraction of the time. This could be okay. But I think that's, well, we're getting a little more Battlecrafty now. Turn our creatures into artifacts. We could take another one, I guess. It's probably the right pick. Yeah, sure. Take the dude from somebody. This deck's looking pretty good. A little more aggressive than I normally like to go. I like to be a little more controlling. Unless I'm playing Infect. Which I guess is all I've sort of done so far. Get the Turn the Tide back. So, if we cut these armors, I don't think we want to main deck the armors or this Rhino. But we more likely want to main deck the Rhino with the Treasure Mage. So, yeah, we're in a good spot.